What is up, guys? Welcome back to Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another Walking Dead video. This one is going to be finally doing my spoiler review for the mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead Season 9. Now that everybody's seen it, everybody's caught up, now that, everybody has actually seen the episode, we can finally go ahead and do our spoiler review for this mid-season premiere. So, really cool stuff. I love this premiere. I think this is an awesome premiere for Walking Dead. It's not the most action-oriented episode or, crazy episode or, death-heavy episode or anything like that. But it's just an all-around really great episode, I feel like. Now, a lot of it is about Negan, and I know that kind of... I know there's already a lot of people complaining how there was too much Negan in this episode and they didn't care that much. Certain people that don't like Negan. So yeah, if you don't like Negan, there might be a handful of fans that don't like this episode because there's so much Negan. But because literally Negan's in like over half the episode, I would say. So there is that, but I do really like all the Negan stuff. So we're gonna go in order. We're gonna go like the Negan stuff, then we'll talk about the stuff with the Whispers, Michonne, Daryl, Hilltop, and all that kind of stuff. So, let's discuss the Hilltop stuff with Michonne and the others first, since that is probably the best stuff of the episode. So, we pick up, of course, and spoiler warning if you haven't seen this episode yet, because I am going to spoil some things here. So, we pick up at the cemetery. Basically, Jesus is dead, they fight the Whispers, and of course, they just get the heck out of there, basically. So, I really like the scene where you see the Whisper and it unlocks the door, and, pushes it open or whatever, and then it goes to intro, so that was cool. Then, of course, they're on their way back, and we get to see that they're on this, bridge, and basically on their way there they run into some walkers. So I really like their plan that they use here, because you have Michonne who goes on one side and you have Daryl that goes on the other side, and they shoot them in the leg, right? Daryl shoots them in the leg to see which one is alive, because you can't really tell which one's a walker and which one's a Whisper, and you get the scream, right? So then they kill that one, then the other one takes out the knife and goes for Michonne, and Michonne kills that one in a brutal fashion. And then of course Lydia is kind of just there with a with a knife or whatever. She's kind of just like all scared, and she basically surrenders, and Daryl takes off the mask, and it's Lydia, oh my god, from the comics. So she's terrified, right? So they bring her back, and I really like their talk, too, with Michonne and Daryl in this episode, too, where they talk about Rick and, thank you for trying to find him for so long, So, I like that talk as well. That was a good conversation. So, we get to see that. We get to basically, catch up with all of our characters after the mid-season premiere. They're taking Lydia back. They're taking Jesus' body back. And basically, they head back to Hilltop. And, of course, Luke and Alden, went after them, and, they're on their way there, and they find some of, Yumiko's, arrows or whatever. So, that's pretty cool. So, and they kind of discuss about the fair and all that kind of stuff. So, they return, basically, you see everybody's reaction to Jesus' death, and basically, you have Jesus, who's buried, Henry, who gets a little bit of time out, and basically, I like the conversation with Michonne and Daryl, too, where she's like, you could really handle things around here, because it's like, Daryl doesn't, I know Norman Reedus doesn't look at it as he's the leader of Walking Dead. He doesn't look at it that way. He views it as more of an ensemble story. But when you really look at episodes like this, it's like, Daryl is one of the most important characters. Either way you look at it, he's probably getting the most time out of anybody in the show right now. Yes, we saw a lot of Negan, we see a lot of Michonne, we see a lot of Carol, which, speaking of, Carol wasn't even in the episode, which I find kind of shocking, since she is supposed to be I think the second main character right now. So I find that kind of, weird that they wouldn't show her in this episode, but I'm sure we'll probably see her in episode 10, so, that's for sure, yeah. But basically, they try to, convince Daryl to lead, even though Tara is in charge. Daryl, Michonne wants Daryl to help, basically. So, we also get to find out that, Eugene likes Rosita, we all know that. But we also get to find out that her and Sadiq were together. So, it does sound like they're doing the comic storyline. And she's with Gabriel. So, I mean, Rosita, oh my god, holy smokes, Rosita. Calm down a bit, So, yeah, she's dating, basically two guys at once, and then another one that, it looks like, with Eugene, which it looks like, might be, something might be going on with her and Eugene there. It seems like they're maybe setting that up or something. Comic stuff coming in here, so that's pretty cool. But basically, we get to see Eugene and Rosita have a bit of a scene. Then Rosita goes out and throws up, and we basically find out she's pregnant, and it's most likely Sadiq's, as far as we know, and Eugene kind of overhears. So that's pretty cool. So we get to see that. We get to see Daryl try to get information out of Lydia, and they treat her pretty bad. But basically, it's lies. It's all lies. She's a bad liar, basically. And, Daryl, the only way he's going to get the information is if he listens to Henry and Lydia talking. Which in the comic, that was Carl. Carl was Henry. And, it looks like that's how it's going to be for the, TV series. Instead of Carl, you're going to have Henry and Lydia instead of Carl and Lydia. So, that's pretty cool as well, too. So, Daryl is, I really like when you get to see, the window, and then Daryl's just listening, he's just listening to their conversation. So, he's going to get the information out of Lydia one way or another, I'm sure it's going to take a while, but he's probably going to hear, some pretty good information after she talks to Henry. So, cool. So, that's the stuff with them in this episode. Michonne's going to go back to Alexandria, too, and basically we get to see, more stuff in the community, more stuff at Hilltop. Tara gets a few lines, there's a lot of characters that are missing from this episode. We don't see Gabriel, we don't see Ezekiel, we don't see Carol, we don't see Jerry, so there are still a lot of characters that we don't see in this episode. So, that's something to mention, for sure. That's definitely something to mention, is that we don't see them at all in this episode. So, yeah. Moving on. So, we got the stuff with Negan. So, basically, he goes into Judith's room and, gets like a compass or whatever and goes out. And I really like when he's hopping the wall or whatever. And, she's like, fine, but if I see you again, I'll shoot. So, basically, Negan goes out. And I really like how he goes and gets the leather jacket and, gets chased by dogs or whatever. That scene was pretty exciting for me. Where the dogs are kind of chasing him and stuff. It was pretty intense. And I did like also the part where we get to see Negan, who kind of, I like how in this episode it looks like once he goes back to the sanctuary, I feel like he's like, well, you know what? I really got nothing left for me, so I might as well just go back, really. So I like that too at the end of the episode. I really like that a lot too. But I'm kind of jumping around here. So we get that, of course. He getting chased by dogs. Puts the walker and shuts the door and kills a few walkers. Now, Zombie Kill of the Week for me would have to actually go to Negan, where he cuts the charred walker and the head comes right off. That was really cool. Zombie Kill of the Week for sure goes to Negan this week. Even though Michonne had a good few, but they were whispers, so you can't really count that as Zombie Kill of the Week. Can we consider Whisper as Zombie Kills of the Week? I don't think so. I don't think that really makes sense. But, cool. Okay, moving on. So, we get that, of course. We get Negan, who goes back to the place where he kills Glenn and Abraham, which this I was actually pretty happy to see. I actually didn't expect to see this at all, and I'm really happy they did that, because I honestly think they should have had Negan go there and then maybe extend the episode a few minutes more or something. And have Negan go back to where the tree scene is to see if Lucille is there. But maybe he will return to the tree, the tree with the glass where Rick cut him. I'm wondering, is Judith, kind of not telling him, and Michonne and the others, are they not telling him that maybe they just left his bat at the tree, at the end of All Out War? Because if they did, that thing is taken. Someone in those last 7.5 years took that. So, but I would love to see Negan go back to the tree, just to see, if Lucille is there. So that's pretty cool. So maybe we'll see that in, the coming episodes. We'll have to see. Cool. So he goes back to the sanctuary, and of course, he does the whistle, and basically he's chilling there, and he decides to leave, after a while. So, cool to see the sanctuary again. It's all destroyed, basically, and I do like how in this episode, too, we get to see it from Negan's perspective, and basically we get the idea that, the sanctuary it's not really a place anymore. It's destroyed, basically. It's got nothing. Nothing's left. Negan's there alone, and he decides to go back. So he goes on the motorcycle, and then Judah shoots him off, right? So that was awesome. And I really like, too, I like the part where he swears, and she's like, what'd she say? Don't swear, I'm a kid, a-hole. I love that. So that was really cool. I like that. Don't swear, I'm a kid, a-hole. You know, so, yeah, we got that, of course, and then we have, you know, Judith, who tells, you know, Negan's like, okay, I'll come back, you know. So we'll have to see. Maybe they'll go on a hunt, you know, to look for Lucille. I don't know. But I really like that scene where Judith shoots him off of the bike. That was a really cool scene. So, yeah, and then of course the ending with Alpha, you know, trail ends here. So I'm really disappointed that they didn't use the "don't move," but maybe they wanted to make that different for the TV series. It's not a big deal. It's just I really like that specific line from the comic. That line is so famous from the comic that maybe they want to change it, but I feel like they should have kept that for sure. So that's going to be it for my review, guys. I really enjoyed this episode. I think it's an awesome mid-season premiere. Out of 10 for this one, I'm going to give this an 8.8. You know, I think that's a good rating for this one. It might sound a little low, but it's not an amazing episode, but it is one of the best episodes this season, I do think. I said that in my spoiler-free review, and I mean it. This is a good episode. So, now I want to hear your comments in that comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And of course, if you're new and you see this video for the first time and you haven't seen the channel and you like what you see, you like the content, please consider hitting that subscribe button at the bottom left. It will really help me out. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. And tomorrow I will be doing my video predictions for Omega. I'm not going to do it tonight because I'm pretty busy tonight, but tomorrow I will be doing my Omega prediction for episode 10, which looks really, really good too. We're going to get to see Alpha and maybe some backstory of, you know, what happened to her before the zombie apocalypse, it looks like, from what I've been seeing. So we'll have to see. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.